Good morning and a very warm welcome. We're here at event 4 of the Supreme Series. I'm joined by Lee Kendall. Morning, Lee.
Morning, Nick.
It's going to be another action-packed weekend of pool. This is obviously event 4, 3 events so far. They've been a great success. Are you just hoping for more of the same today?
Yeah, I mean, this is the last one of the 2 rule sets. Then we build to the grand final, which will be under the new rules. So it'll be interesting to see how the rankings pan out, because that's a seeded draw.
Yeah. Some great games already in action this morning. Some of the highlights, we've got Carl Morris playing Paul Riley. Another great game is Jack Whelan against Jake Dillon-Newlove. 2 really exciting talents there.
Yeah, that's on one of the stream tables, so you can tune in and watch that or follow the links.
Yeah, and of course Jake Dillon-Newlove just reached the final the other day of the EBPF, so he's bang on form. You know, you got Jack, who's always deep in these tournaments as well.
Yeah, he's an underestimated player, but he is a very strong player. And he could push him all the way.
Christy Colefield's playing Rob Warren. It should be another great game. And also the action on the main table is Drew Hughes against Shaun Storry. So again, we're really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, Drew did well in the last event. I think he got to the quarterfinals, and Shaun recently got to a tour semi-final on the EPA side, and we know that he won the Bulldog Challenge last year. So
yeah, I don't think we've seen either of these players on the main arena yet, but they've both been deep into these events before, so they're great talents. I think it's a great choice for a match.
Yeah, we did try to mix it up. I mean, the obvious faces which the fans will want to watch, we'll get on there. But, you know, in certain sessions, if there isn't really a standout match, we'll give everybody a chance to be on there. Yeah,
and of course, the big talking point this weekend, we've got the brand new cloth.
Yeah, the Strachan cloth. I mean, it took 12 months to get where we want with it, and I'm really pleased with it. It's grey, it's fast, very responsive, and hopefully the feedback will be positive. As far as I can see at the moment, everybody likes it, so that's good start.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it in action. I think the contrast of the colours against the grey it just looks fantastic.
Yeah, the reds and yellows on the grey looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Certainly for you to commentate, it would be a lot better than the green, I would have thought.
Absolutely, yeah. Really looking forward to a great weekend of pool this weekend. Let's get it underway, shall we?
Yeah, let's get going. Good luck to everybody, and please tune in and watch the pool over the next 3 days.
Fantastic. So we open up with Drew Hughes against Shaun Storry, and we'll speak to you soon from the comms box. So good morning and a very warm welcome. This is, as I mentioned at the top of the show, the Supreme Series, event number 4. we start with Shaun Storry against Hughes. And Shaun wins a lag and gets us underway. What a great start that is from him. That's exactly how this first break would have played out in his mind.
Time running.
So I'm pretty sure he's going to be choosing reds. And he gets his event 4 underway. And already a great opportunity for Shaun to take early honours in this game. Should be fairly simple route from here. And now I'm joined on the commentary by Zach Shepherd. Morning, Zach. How are you?
Morning, Nick. Morning, Nick. I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Bit of an early start.
Yeah, not ideal, but can enjoy the pool. So
What brings you up here this early then? Just
well, the boss is on at 10 o'clock. This session, so stuck here.
Who's Mandy's got someone.
Man's playing Farnsworth. Yeah.
He is playing Farnsworth, yeah. How is he feeling about that one? Has he lumped on himself?
No, he. I think he's going to try, but he's got Mark in the Calcutta, so he's a bit of a win-win, isn't he?
I mean, there's already all the games underway. The entire arena is buzzing. Adam Penwell's playing Abdul Karim Barada. He's 2-0 up. I think that'll probably be, if Adam goes on and wins out, that's probably his only win of the series so far, isn't it? I don't want to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he lost in round ones in both the first games, and I think he went to the losers' side, and on both of the losers' sides, I think he played Oli Bell.
Both events he's played so far.
That's right.
He's had Oli in the losers.
In the losers,
lost both,
yeah. So I don't think. I think I'm right in saying he's not won a game yet. So he's got a chance there against the.
I shared a room with Kapow Penez last night, and he said he was going to win easy today. He felt confident, so.
So you were happy sharing with him after all the debacle after the last event?
I know what George
you weren't going to find
like,
a pizza in your bed or anything like that. So
no.
Anyway, let's not go into
that. Yeah, we don't want to debate that.
Shaun Storry takes the first frame, and as I mentioned earlier, that will be exactly how he'd want that to play out in his head when he woke up this morning. Having his shower, he was thinking, if I can break and dish the first one, and then I'm away.
Just say it's always the first and last frame's hardest to win.
Yeah.
First one, the tournament, he parked the white well off that break there, and
impressive start. So Liam Dunst is 2-0 up against Richard Toomey. Neil Wren is playing Toby Bolt. They're 1 apiece. Jake Dillon Newlove already 2-1 up against Jack Whelan. Jamie Graham 2-0 up against Lee Boggle. Dave Fernandez 2-0 up against Daz Lightfoot. Christy Colefield 3-0 up against Rob Warren. Arthur Dad 4-0 up against Cole Bedford. I think
Cole's one of those players, and he's going to fly off. Or he's going to have a bad start.
Yeah, I think a lot of people saw a bit of value in Cole. I think he was about 7-4 before, but Arthur is just such a fantastic player, an old campaigner. Carl Morris currently 1-0 against Paul Riley. Joe Prince 2-1 up against Richard King. Shane Thompson 2-0 against Gerald O'Gorman. Martin Hazel 3-0 against Ben Tanner. Ben 40 2-0 against Ian Duffy, and Mark Farnsworth 4-0 against Mandeep Jigger.
Okay.
So, not the start that Mandeep would have hoped for.
I'll announce now that we'll finish 11-0. Because Man will just go for everything now.
Yeah.
So Drew nearly popped the white off the table on that break, but he went off anyway, so he got punished for kind of hitting it quite bad.
And these reds look good already, don't they? With his free shot, he's just going to break open this little cluster at the bottom of the table. In fact, if anything, he's probably made it worse. He's just made that cluster a bit worse around the black now, hasn't he? He's got the two reds there that don't really go, whereas before they both went.
I don't think that red passes to the bottom right-hand pocket.
No. So it goes to show, because everything went then. It was almost a case of, because sometimes you come to the table and you don't really need to use your free visit, and you can do more harm than you can good. And it was almost one of those occasions.
It caught me out a few times last event because I'm not playing much black ball. I played a silly opening shot. I played Harrison, the loser side, and I played a couple of silly like with ball in hand when he's part of the break and part of the white off the break. I played a few silly shots where I'm not sure where they all go, but I've just played a silly shot and it's made it hard work for yourself. This red now passes to the bottom right. Going into that cluster, he's knocked the yellow over the red.
Yeah, it's not getting any easier.
See, both have won, you could probably say, majors in the sport. Shaun won the Bulldog year last year, which is quite a big event. And I was just joking around with Drew before the event started that before he played to start this match, it was 10 years ago that he won his probably majors. He won the men's under 23 European black ball, and he was about 10 years ago. So both can do it at the top level.
So what's his plan here for this red? Is he just looking now to see if he can come down and? I mean, it does pot, doesn't it? Into the bottom corner. So I think he's just looking now if he can just come in behind this yellow and nudge it out of the way. He's going to leave himself naturally on that red, but it's a tough little shot, isn't it?
It's not easy because ideally you just play at one rail and go into the yellow to the left of the two that are in a line just above the middle bag, but they got the chance of the in-off then, and you can't really control the white for the...
Yeah, that's made it even worse. It's just covered any potting angle that he had, and there's no natural angle here to be able to attack it. In fact,
I think he needs to shut up shop here.
Yeah.
Try and play a good safety, yeah.
I mean, a very aggressive player may try and pot the red off the yellow.
Yeah. She's got this problem red that it only goes to the bottom left. And to get on one of these balls now, even if he does pot this in the middle off the yellow. He's looking at that. Might knock the red down towards the bottom right if he hits it.
It's certainly going to open everything up. Oh my goodness me.
I think.
Oh wow.
He's alright.
I think he is alright.
This red goes to the bottom left.
He needed a touch of luck with that, but it was some shot as well, wasn't it? Just
going to screw out off the black here. I think it's worst case scenario, even if he doesn't leave himself that nice on this red, he could go rail first and pot the red off the yellow. And your first impressions of the cloth? I didn't get a chance to practice on it last night because I was working at the club until 11:30 and we drove up afterwards. Just watching a bit here, it looks like it's playing quite quick and it's nice on the eye, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm sure it's going to be very nice. Can't really tell from this angle whether he can don't think if he tops it, I don't think he's in off. I think he's just going to hit the bump. Maybe you're looking to play off the knuckle here, the white ball. Knuckle out, kiss that yellow, which he's playing closest to now. That's it. He's caught it too thin and missed the red.
Oh, it's been hectic this morning. I'm glad to actually sit down. Well, I've been sat down all morning in the car.
Did you drive up this morning?
Yeah, well, I went to bed last night, suddenly realising that I'd left my glasses in the office.
Oh.
The office is like 20 miles in the opposite direction. And there was no way I could go this weekend without my glasses. So I thought I'm going to have to get up early and go in and pick them up. So I went there to pick them up, and when I got there I realised that I'd forgot my pass to get in. So I had to wait for somebody to turn up to get me in. And when I finally got in, picked up my glasses, so I set the sat-nav, and normally I would drive down to Taunton and get straight on the M5 and go straight up the M5, but because I'm 20 miles in the opposite direction, it's kind of routed me. It's kind of routed me up through Frome and Bath and up to the M4, and I thought, well, I'll go that way because it's going to be about 20 miles shorter. But then I found myself about an hour later somewhere just south of Bath, driving through a little village over speed humps, and there's a toll gate in the middle of this village at 7:05 this morning with some bloke collecting ATP. It's like literally there's somebody's house, and he said, do you know what, I'm going to set up a toll gate outside my house and charge people to drive past. It's actually a proper sign there that says toll gate.
Oh my
and I'm driving past it. Like, I mean, it's lucky I had some change on me, otherwise what do I do? Turn around and go back the other way? It's like literally this tiny little village, and I'm driving over speed humps thinking,
I wonder what he does
I'm
there.
2.5 hours away.
I wonder what he does there, because he can't take cards for 80p transactions.
I know.
He'll probably get charged more than that.
Well, he didn't have anything to take a card. I mean, he's just, I don't know, bizarre. The most bizarre thing.
He's got quite, unfortunate. He can still pot this yellow here if that got a bit to the left. He's all good here. I think he can avoid knocking the black safe here. Just screw up the table. Yeah, a bit of a detour for you this morning.
Wouldn't ever. So I thought I'd stop in a little shop just in the town and grab myself a cup of coffee. And she said, oh, sorry, the coffee machine's not working, so I can do your filter coffee. So she disappeared upstairs. And 20 minutes later, she's still not come downstairs. I'm like, I said to the lady, I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. I'm going to have to go. Oh, yeah, I'll go and find out what she's done. I think she was making breakfast or something there at the same time. Unbelievable. So it's been one of those mornings. But we're here now.
So Farnsworth 5-0 up on my boss. I think Mum was considering not getting out of bed this morning. And he's not even joking, because he didn't
give him a bye.
Last event in the losers, the 9 o'clock session, if you lose your first game, you've got to get up at 9. And he was out till stupid o'clock. And he thought, well, there's no real point, is there? But
Martin Hazel 4-1 up against Ben Tanner now.
Christy Caulfield 4-1 up on Melbourne. I thought that was a good bet. Christy's in quite a bit of good form at the moment. He's playing on quite a few tours around the Midlands area, like Leicester Tour and Arts Tour. He's playing some good pool. See, back in the day, he played John Shepherd for money. I think they were 1-1 or 2-1 either way. Very good games. And
Rob Warren just picked up another frame. There's 4-2. Dave Fernandez 3-0 up against Daz Lightfoot. Jake Dylan Newlove now 4-1 up against Jack Whelan, and Jack Whelan's got his back against the wall early. Bit of a surprising result there for some people, but I mean, Jake's just such a great free-flowing attacking player when he gets on a bit of a roll.
It's like last event in the quarters when he played Max in the quarters, and Max got ahead and the ball's going his way, and you think he won 11-1, didn't he?
Yeah.
So just how this game goes, especially on these tables, these balls, best equipment. If someone gets flowing and the balls are there, it can be over quickly.
Adam Penwell now 4-0 up against Abdul Karim Barada.
Not really got a easy go at these yet. It's locked in for reds. So I think that's an open table. Wasn't really. Didn't think that was his first shot. So I think from that looks, it means Shaun wants yellows and he's letting Drew really have that. Calling the Drew. It's just not reached there. That's a big error because you're not really, even if you leave him a shot at yellow, they're not really easy from there. But now with the free shot, you can try and make something of this now.
And if you're wondering where we're getting these updated live scores from, you can go to qscore.com, and then basically you can just search for the k8.com Classic, or if you go to the live tab, you'll see the Supreme Series event number 4, and of course at the same time we must keep just a little eye on the Ryder Cup, because that's going on at the moment, isn't it? I see Justin Rose currently 2-0 up, so we're up in 1 game and down in 3.
Oh,
so we
were 3-1 up when I left.
Yeah, we'll just keep a kind of running interest on that one.
So he's just got slightly unlucky there with his free shot. That red's just run on a bit. I'm not sure if it pops. He did well with the when he had ball in hand. Played a nice shot to get him out. The red, even though he's knocked it towards the yellow, it still goes to the middle, so it's not a big drama. So can he really make it 3 in a row, Harrison?
Yeah, remains to be seen, doesn't it? It's I think it was probably most people's opinions that nobody could win 2 of these events throughout this series, that there would be 5 different winners. I saw that written so many times. There's no way that one person, if anyone can do it, it would be Mick. No one else could possibly do it. And then Phil wins back to back. And you look at any other achievement in the book, world titles. The trouble is none of it's unified, is it? And to have this unified event where you've got the best players from both disciplines, and the players missing from this, the big players, you could probably count them on one hand. So it really is one of the most elite fields that you could get. To win back to back is just phenomenal. I barely had time. I wasn't at the last event. Because
nice to see you feeling better now.
Yeah. It's all good. But yeah, obviously I was a bit poorly for the last one, so I missed it. But so I didn't have a chance to kind of express, what kind of achievement that was. But it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Thing is, I think if anyone's going to win 3 in a row, I think it'd be someone like Phil, because I don't think he lets much phase him, like how he is around the table and how he plays. He's so consistent, and they told him he couldn't win 3 UK tours in a row.
Yeah.
And he went and done it, and that season he actually won 4 of the 5, I think, on the UK tour that year.
Yeah.
Cousins won the other, and then next year Cousins won 3.
That's right.
Tom couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was like 2014, 15, somewhere around about there, wasn't it? It's maybe 15, 16.
Yeah, 2016, I think that was, because But I think
it's a phenomenal achievement.
Like you said about Mick. So good use of that free ball he had. Opened them up and looks like he's managed to finish them.
Both of these players have had good runs in the previous events. I think Shaun made a quarter-final, maybe event 1, was it? I can't remember. I'd have to look back at the results.
I'm not sure about event 1. I know event 2 he got through to the last losers round when it was still 8.
Yeah.
To get 8 for the single limb, he got through. He came 9th. I know because he beat John Rowe in the last 16. Because I remember watching that game.
Yeah.
Very steady player, John.
And I know Drew had a.
He got to quarters the last event. He lost to the winner, Harrison.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think back to like Phil winning 3. I think I said it last night. I think like you said about, you think if anyone's going to do it, probably we're doing Mick. But I think I kind of said last night, I think like Mick probably wins this. This is my opinion. I think Mick probably wins this weekend unless Phil beats him.
Yeah.
I think Phil's like the one who's on his day. He's got the best chance against Mick. I think Mick looks so good until he plays Phil, and then Phil's consistency just grinds him down.
I think Phil. I think he showed a kind of. There's a lot of people around that knows what Phil's capable of, but may not be that familiar with the tour events, etc. And they may feel that Phil's possibly underachieved because he's only got the one title, and maybe he should have had more. But it shows the measure of the man, the way he came through the loser's side, having lost his first round match. And the players, I mean, he's beaten Appleton, he's beaten Melling, I mean, he's just beaten everybody in the loser's side. And to come back through that way, it is such a tough route. You've got to play something like 9 games to win it from the loser's side, 9 or 10 games. So it just shows the measure of Phil Harrison. But there's, I mean, we're already surmising who's going to win the title, but there's 128 players in this, and you could safely say that there's at least half the field that could win it, and maybe even more on the day.
So we half of them are definitely coming here thinking, oh, we're dreaming of winning it.
Yeah.
And a good 30 I'll do. You couldn't just rule out.
Yeah, yeah.
At the end of the day, we can all beat each other on our day.
That's exactly it.
The top players are more consistent than the others, but
I mean, we often expect these players to be robotic in their ways, just to be able to turn up, get their cue out of their bag, and break dish every single frame. But in real life,
it's not always like that.
People have bad days. People have a bad night's sleep. They might have just had a drink too many last night and a bit hungover, or argued with the missus this morning. Whatever it may be, I mean, it can adjust your mood and the way you play.
Definitely.
And
it's controlled that well.
Yeah, that's really good.
You can just pop down the left-hand side of the table here now, a bit of run inside. Yeah, there's just looking at the betting, there's people at like 33s who you would think, well, in any other tournament you'd be like, I'll have them at 33s, but then this event is so strong. So he's not come. He's just off straight, looking at the table, not the camera angle. He might have the angle just to stun into the 2 reds. I'll leave the black to the middle bag.
No, he's just canning the wrong ball there, and it doesn't go to either top corner, so he's in a bit of trouble here. May have to go cushion first and try for it in the middle. But sorry, Hannah.
Might have, not sure if you can see enough of it to play the double into this bottom left-hand bag.
Yeah.
I think I see that.
Yeah, may be able to just get through, but he's
He's
just looking at the rail.
The only way I prefer this shot is if you do it that bad, you've got the chance of the double, haven't you?
Yeah.
He's looking at the long double. I think this is the shot. I think you can screw the white or stun the white onto the bottom rail if he wants to. Slid quite a bit, that.
And there's no real saving grace here. There's everything in the open for Shaun, and a really good chance now to go 3-1 ahead.
8-0 in the Farnsworth game.
I think you've probably called that one. Called that right, haven't you? You said it's going to be 11-0.
Well, man's been known in the past to, if he's put 6-7-0 down, to break off, go for a finish. If he misses, just tell his opponent to rack him up. So I think he was talking about that last night, so I don't know whether he's actually done it or not, but...
He's just a massive lover of the game, isn't he? I mean, he just seems to play money match after money match. He doesn't seem to fear anybody. He travels all over the place to play them, and you know, he just loves it, doesn't he?
No, the thing is, no one believes me, right, when I say this, but he doesn't practice.
No.
We play on a Wednesday night. We play on a Wednesday night in the Forest of Dean League. That's it at the moment. When the Monmouth League starts up, we'll play on Wednesday and Thursday. But that's the only time we'll pick our queue up. Like me as well at the moment. Unless there's a tournament coming up, I won't be playing. I'll just be in the club, probably most of the time working and not really on the table. The man virtually doesn't pick his queue up. He's only on the Wednesday night pissed up. He's
there's a horrible little kiss there from Shaun.
I think he might just be looking to leave the double on that ball. Yeah, he doesn't practice. He just loves the game and loves the money game, as you said, and he'll travel everywhere. I found Dad 7-1 on Cole. Dunster 4-2 up on Toomey. Got a very good game there.
Jake Newlove now 6 frames to 1 against Jack Whelan. Jamie Graham, who is off the back of a final down in the southwest. He played in a local event last week and came up against his brother in the final. I think he beat Shane Thompson in the semi-final. Jamie Graham's on form at the moment. He's currently 4-0 up against Lee Boggle.
Very good player, Jamie.
Yeah, really is.
I remember watching him play Partab for money back in the old days in Bristol when I was quite young.
He's just tried to nudge the red down.
I think he'd definitely leaving the double now if he can just drop this in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie, very safe player. You'll probably know more about his results down Southwest, but whenever I watch the Southwest Pro Tour, he's always thereabouts.
Rob Wall now has completed that mini comeback against Christy Coalfield. I think it was 4-1 down, wasn't he? He's now 4-all.
Yeah, 4-1, that was 4-all, yeah.
Shane Thompson 5-0 against Gerald O'Gorman.
He's a very good player, that Jack O'Gorman.
And Martin Hazel, who was 4-1 up against Ben Tanner. Ben Tanner is now 4 frames each. So Ben proving that he's not turned up just to make up the numbers. Don't know much about Ben. I know he was fairly prolific in some of the Calcuttas. He bought a few players in the different Calcuttas, but I don't know much about him as a player.
Ben Tanner, very underestimated player. He first time I met Ben was with Paul Bushnell was running a event from my club or the club I run in the Forest of Dean. It was called TBBC Tour, and at the time he had all the top Blackpool players on it. He had Raybone travelling, Hibbert was travelling down, he had all the Welsh lads, and he got through to a semi-final. He lost to Neil Raybone in the semi-final of one of those.
This needs to be a good shot from right under the rail. Okay, it's
well.
bang over the pocket, but he needed to control it well to make sure he got out for the red. And as you say, he played it really well. So now these simple couple of balls to complete this frame.
Talking about the Jack game, that's the same table he played the quarter-final on of the last event, so he's gone 6-1 down. He probably got bad memories of the last event.
Yeah.
Probably thinking, because when he probably saw that he had Max in the quarters, he's probably thinking he's fancy his chances to win a tournament. Not saying Max ain't there with the top lads, but you'd rather play Max over Phil, Mick,
Yeah.
etc. So,
And there you see in the background, that's Jake Newlove. You can watch Jake play. He is over on table 11. You can see through the window there. That's him in the blue shirt against Jack Whelan. So we currently have 4 tables being streamed. I think the other 2 games are table 3 and 4. I think I'm right in saying that. Table 3 is Richard King against Joe Prince, and table 4 is Rob Warren against Christy Colefield. So those are the 4 games available for you to watch. Or you can stick here with us, myself and Zach Shepherd, watching Shaun Storry against Drew Hughes.
you can see there the arena, very nice arena. Drew just popped for a break.
And so far the cloth looks like it's playing well. It's a good pace. It's reactive.
It's nice and it don't look too slidey. You can, when they're brand new, you're going to have it a bit slidey.
Yeah.
But it don't look too bad. It was only the one I noticed when Drew played that long double. But
I just
you
need
can
to.
expect that, aren't you?
I need to go out and have a little feel of it. Just put my hand on the table and just have a.
When I had a feel, it just didn't feel the same as either a Hainsworth or a Strachan.
Yeah. Well, it is a brand new cloth that's been developed, especially for this series. I know this is probably about the 4th attempt at it. I think they kept developing, and Lee wasn't happy. Yeah, Lee wasn't happy with the product. He knew what he wanted, and when he got this, he knew that he got what he wanted. So
it looks like we finally got there, and we got all the missing parts, the puzzle that Kendall wanted, ready for the last event, which is the grand finals, the big one. So,
one free shot, 1 visit.
have you familiarised yourself with the rules yet?
For the last event?
Yeah, for the Supreme.
I haven't really, because to me they play quite a bit the same as Chinese.
Yeah.
And
you're a Chinese player as well, aren't you?
I've played enough Chinese to know the tactics of it, and it's just simple little stuff. Sometimes the first time I went and played a Chinese April event, played in the Masters, and it was quite a big jump. Like I went 7-0 down first match, just because a few times you see like a tactical shot which you would never normally see playing pool, English 8-ball.
Yeah.
Where you just play, it'd be a random shot where in the middle of the table you play yours onto his pot his, leave the white in the middle of the table where he hasn't got a shot, but you wouldn't normally see that.
Yeah.
I was clipping and playing safe, leaving him a shot, and
it's an entirely different mindset, isn't it? Because there's no 2 shots, is there?
No.
There's only ball in hand anywhere on the table for in off or such like, or you've got what they call the kind of tactical foul, whereby if you
basically lost a turn foul, tactical foul.
Yeah, but they have to play the ball from where it is, even if they're snookered.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting because, I mean, the point of the game is I think the point of the rules is to make it extremely aggressive, isn't it? Make it extremely attacking. So you don't. So basically, what it's saying is, if you play a tactical shot, you're not necessarily going to get a massive amount of benefit from it. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
I don't think the rules will come that much into it, especially with the top lads, because the table's split. But it'd be quite interesting to see how the top lads go about the rules and their interpretation, what's the best way of playing certain shots.
Yeah. I can't wait to see how it pans out. I need to understand. Do you know what I mean? I can look at this game and I can instinctively know what the right shot is to play, and I can call the right shot. Sometimes you get it wrong, whatever, but it's going to be interesting to play that. I have watched a fair bit of Chinese, and I've even asked Viv Roscoe, because she was one of the people who have come up with this set of rules, and she's also training her refs in it, and I think she's going to have a little local coaching session with them on that set of rules. So I've asked her to sit in the commentary box for the first couple of matches, just just to talk us through them and know what to expect.
I just hope that you don't get people taking advantage, because it could go the other way and could become more tactical, especially with 2 shots carry or the free shot. We could get to a stage where if this ball's tied up, then we could have long frames, which I hope we don't get, because we all want to see attacking pool. So one more frame and my boss is out of his misery. 10-0.
10-0, wow.
I wish I had odds on 11-0. I wish Jed offered them. The worst thing is, it'd be good if he can win 1 frame, because otherwise they're all going to think he just hasn't got out of bed when they see the score.
Yeah.
Because they all say man's not going to bother going.
Shane Thompson there, 7-0 against Gerald O'Gorman.
That is quite a shock for me, because that Gerald he's a very good player. He plays for Island A, World Jewels. He's most well known. They won it at the Europeans. Island A played England A in the European A final, team final. He played the deciding frame against Jack Popel. He missed a chance in the decider after fluking a ball. And what an atmosphere that was at that event. I would love to be part of a final like that.
Trailing 2 frames to 3.
But he's a very steady player. The whole event, first time I'd seen him play, and I kept looking over and he was taking finishes out. Penwell 6-0.
Richard Toomey is making a bit of a comeback now against Liam Dunster.
He's one of those, when he gets going,
yeah,
he is dangerous.
Yeah, fast and attacking player.
Honestly,
great player, Richard.
The last event was the best. The last event, how I was playing up to it, was the best I've ever been playing in my life. And I played him. I missed 1 ball. I lost 11-7. He didn't miss a ball.
Rubber won 5-0 now against Christy Colefield. Dave Fernandez 5-2 up against Daz Lightfoot. Carl Morris and Paul Riley 3 each. That's going to be a bit of a grind there, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
2 very, very good players, well matched.
Oh, it's just not the yellow safe. I think the only saving grace is the yellow near the black. He can pot and go into that yellow. So if he can play the yellow to the middle now.
So as people are joining us on this Friday morning, you can see him blazoned across the side of the table. You're watching the Supreme Pool Series. What a great camera angle that is, looking at the side-on view of the table with the side of the arena. This is event 4, it's the K8.com Classic. And very early stages. This is the first round. All 16 matches are still on the go. In fact, I tell a lie, one of them just disappears off the board as Mark Farnsworth beats Mandeep Jhinga 11 frames to 0. So Mandeep will probably wish he had stayed in bed this morning and had a lie in.
The worst thing is about that is, like, I haven't watched the game because I'm in review, but man can play. It winds me up when it's like he lost last event to Richard Toomey 11-1 or 11-2. Man can play, he don't normally play. He don't play black ball rules, so he's probably gone like 2, 3, 4 behind, and he's given up. But he should never be losing 11-0. He's too good to lose 11-0. But
so Shaun Storry really just ran out of position here. He's a little bit high on this yellow. No way of attacking that yellow on the bottom rail, and even as he going for the cut. Wow. That is some shot. He's not left himself.
That red's come and come with the yellow. Otherwise, he had a chance.
That was a great cut, and to get the red out at the same time. But now with his work cut out, because there's nowhere particularly safe on the table, is there? These reds all in the open.
He hasn't really got a safety shot here as well.
I just wonder if it, oh no,
He's looking to play the ball over, cover the
Yeah.
back. It's quite a second.
I wonder here if everything covering everything else. I think Drew's got a bit of
I think this
a wry smile on his face because he's just shook his head because he's having a look, and I think everything is it's whether this red just drops in above the yellow, but if it doesn't, I don't think anything goes.
Looking at the table,
May
I think
just
it does
go.
just drop dead weight. Oh, it went quite easy.
Yeah, it did. I say he had a bit of a wry look on his face, maybe. Just pulling a Phil Harrison on us there, wasn't he?
So it's just that one.
He's got a bit of Phil about him, hasn't he, with the ginger hair, and he's a stocky lad. Maybe he models himself on Phil.
So we're just looking, there's only tricky balls that one on the left hand side rail. Might play that second last, I think. Take the top two.
Do you know where Drew's from? Is he?
He's from Newtown, mid-North Wales.
I was going to say it must be Wales with a name. I mean, the name can't be any more Welsh, really, can it?
He's Drew's played for Wales, Blackpool, and World Jewels over the years. He's part of the winning Blackpool team who won the World Championships, I think 3 or 4 years ago, which was on live TV. He's on this perfect now, just to drop this through. Just checked that up nicely.
Yeah, checked it up very nicely. It looked like the pace it hit that cushion, it looked like it was going to fly off and come back the other side, but he judged that really well. And that's frame to, as you hear the referee, it's the familiar face of Rick Lloyd. You've seen Rick play before.
I think the last time I saw like a grey cloth like this was the IPA did use a grey cloth for a few years, or for a year, when they were on using the DPT tables. It definitely wasn't playing as quick as this, and this looks like it's playing very nice.
So we're going to take a quick look while the referee racks the balls up at the player profiles. Drew Hughes, his nickname is Scoffer. He's 27 years old. He uses a Crispy and Jones cue, so very much supporting his countrymen there. Elkmaster's 7.5mm tip. He was the men's European under-23 champion in 2008. European champion in 2008, part of the Wales team to win the World Championship. The Amateur European Open IPA winner and voted Amateur of the Year. I started playing pool when he was just 10 years old in the local pub. It started after he watched a snooker on TV, and he instantly fell in love with cue sports. Greatest influence has been his family, and also watching Ronnie O'Sullivan playing snooker has inspired him. Favourite pool player is Gareth Potts for what he's achieved in the game.
I think the shadow does go, yeah, the black. Not easy, but if he gets on it nice.
So we asked him for a funny story about himself. He said when he was 13 years old, his mum drove 4 hours to take him to an event. He walked in the club with his cue all ready to play, and the guy behind the bar told him that he was a week early.
Yeah, that was Hereford, I remember that. I think he turned up the next week as well, and I think he might have went out early as well. So.
And he's also a bit of a footballer as well. Played county football.
Penwell 8-0.
The player currently at the table is Shaun Storry. His nickname is PF1. I'm not sure where that comes from. I'm going to have to track him down later and ask him. 32 years old. He uses a Maple Q 8mm century tip. He won the Players Pool event, the 250 pounds a man winner. That was last year. The Bulldog Challenge. The winner of the 2017 May Hearts Tour. National Amateur runner-up in 2017. GB9 main event finalist in 2012 and BG9 challenge event winner in 2011. Been playing pool for around about 15 years, simply because it's easier than playing snooker.
He's got a nice shot here because he's quite close to it. If he cues as well, he will get the skill shot. Yeah, Shaun's won quite a few titles at 9-ball and English 8-ball.
Yeah, he said that his team, Colchester, was. That's a great shot. That really is a great shot over that distance as well. His home team, Colchester, is probably the reason that he's kept playing 8-ball rather than sticking to 9-ball. And his favourite Q Sports player is Ronnie O'Sullivan. It's interesting story that he once had a hole-in-one at golf and he's barely ever played the game. Bit of a lucky hit, I think.
Surprised he don't play much because normally he's wearing his golf kit, playing pool. So I just guessed he was a keen golfer.
So his other interests include investing, travelling, flying, cars and motorbikes. Well, if you get the investing bit right, you can enjoy all the other things, can't you?
Definitely. I know he's a very clever guy, Shaun. I remember in China in January he was talking me over his portfolios. Very professional he is. How he conducts himself.
Drew looked very relaxed there. He almost looked like he was ready to nod off.
Drew's always relaxed, down-to-earth guy.
Another great split. Look at the way those balls have spread. But it's no good. And that is the only trouble with the shark rack. If you go dry, you're almost certain to leave your opponent open. The balls just spread so well. And the thing is, what they tend to do, you end up with so many balls at the top of the table that you end up with this, as you can see here, the balls are, apart from this bottom kind of left-hand area, there's only a couple of feet there isn't a ball. Everything else is just spread far and wide, which kind of lends itself to perfect patterns, doesn't it? Because you can just work your way back down the table.
You don't get, especially off breaks, if you hit them sweet, you don't really get many clusters, and they spread like this, like you said, and
it's still.
That's why we had such a good final last time.
Yeah.
I know a few times they played very good shots to develop their hard ball. When you got open tables like this, the top players ain't missing very often.
Still needs a decent bit of thought in this one, though. It's not a.
You're just gonna flip.
Yeah, not a natural pattern on either set. So he's going to try and probably remove both of these difficult balls on the rail over these two shots. I think he's left himself
a little bit awkward.
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
Should be okay.
May just be able to screw back. I think he'd probably take his medicine and screw back. 6 inches or so, and then leave the long one down the rail. Yeah, just like so. And it doesn't really need to do too much here. He can, again, just screw back a few inches, and he's got himself a choice of balls to middle or corner.
Yeah.
And this really is just about good cueing here.
Half fun, Dad. 9-2 on Cole Bedford. Jake Dillon Newlove 8-3 over Jack Whelan, former world champion. He's just overrun this, I think.
Yeah, he's just...
I think he can just drop it in. His tight mind, looking at the table, not through the camera angle. We're behind the line.
Felt like he didn't really need to do too much at all with that white there, but run it through a couple of inches too far and maybe in trouble here. Well, he obviously feels he can get through.
He can't just drop it in. Yeah, it was tight looking at it from behind his cue action.
So it should be fairly straightforward here. The yellow in the middle of the table passes to the bottom right pocket, and he can just drop on.
He's got a few options where he wants to take that last yellow,
Yeah.
which is in the centre of the table.
Yeah, I would say he's probably just going to just drop below the one on the bottom rail and just come up the right hand side of the table for that in the middle, I would imagine. Looks like that's his plan. But again, he can do either here. He can just drop on it for middle, or he can go up closer to the middle bag and leave it into bottom left. Personal preference.
Yeah, I think I prefer to play it to the bottom corner.
Yeah, it's just you've got a slightly more margin of error, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean, he's looking now, but obviously if he underhits this, the red comes into play. So.
And then if you over it, split a bit on the white, get on the black.
I think he's played that just about perfectly. He can now top the yellow through. He's just looking now.
He's only just got a bit of angle going the wrong way. He should be fine.
Yeah.
If he comes through to the side rail, it's easy enough to the middle. Just gotta be careful with the white here. Those reds are a tad awkward. I think he might be able to just drop it in, Mr. Red.
Yeah, played it at good pace.
So
And another frame goes Shaun's way. He's now 5 frames to 3 up. So let's have another quick virtual tour to see what those other scores are. Shane Thompson is now 10 frames to 1. No, in fact, he's just 1. He's 11-1. My screen hasn't updated there, but he's 11-1 ahead. Sorry, he's 1-11-1. Adam Penwell's 9-0 up against Abdel Karim Barada. Liam Dunster's 7-4 against Richard Toomey. Jake Dillon Newlove is getting closer to the line. He's 8-3 up against Jack Whelan. I can look across and see that Jack is currently at the table. Jamie Graham's 6-1 up against Lee Boggy. Sorry, I thought that was Boggler. I've been calling him Boggle, but it's Boggy. Not a player I'm familiar with.
not either. I've not heard of him before. Not seen him play.
Dave Fernandez 8-3 up against Daz Lightfoot. Rob Warren 7-5 against Christy Coldfield. So that's a big comeback there. He was 4-1 down. And Jack Whelan has just posted another frame on the board, so he pulls back to within 4. It's 8 frames to 4. Arf and Dad is 10-2 up and on the hill against Cole Bedford. Paul Riley 5-3 against Carl Morris. That'll be a surprise to some people, not to us.
Riley's very underestimated.
Yeah, great player.
Very
We saw him
steady
grind
player.
out that win in the money match against Rob Warren before the last series.
I don't think people give him enough credit for that, because when Rob won the Masters, the amateur Masters last year here, beat Boyle, beat a lot of good players in that event, and many years experience playing for England World Rules, and he's got to the final of the World Masters. It was a big game for Paul to take on, and he played quite well, what I saw in that money game.
I don't think Paul's scared of anybody. I mean, he seems to just enjoy. He's such a nice fella. I mean, I've met Paul on a number of occasions. We covered Paul Riley when he played against Mike King in Exeter, and he just bought a. He played Greg Batten. I apologise. He played Greg Batten down in Exeter, and he brought all his mates came down. They all flew down for and he used it as a weekend. He brings his wife with him, and he loves the West Country, so he comes down and spends a few days here and takes on a money match while he's down.
I know he played Max as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I've seen him play a couple of games at Spenny's now. He just doesn't seem to be scared of anyone.
I think the only person I've seen him lose to is Steve Dempsey.
Yes, he played that at Spenny's as well, I think, didn't he?
Remember, we were both there that night.
That's right, yeah.
Played a very good shot.
That's a super double there from Shaun. That's just opened up everything. The yellow at the top of the table nearest the top cushion passes behind that red, so it should be fairly elementary from here. It looks... Well, it's just looking now. Wants to play that into that yellow closest to the right cushion into middle, but I would have thought it was a case of drop this one into centre and play that one to top corner next to leave himself an angle on the yellow closest to the bulk line, maybe.
I'd be taking the one to the right of the table now and then just screw up.
I think he's going to take the one by the bulk line now. I think he's left himself that angle and then just play off the top cushion to leave himself. I think he's going to go for the two at the top of the table first. Yeah, it's probably quite a good path actually. He can leave himself a nice angle on the one over the middle.
It goes to the middle. I didn't think it went to the middle.
Yeah.
He took these out the right way then.
Ben Tanner now 9 frames to 6 up against Martin Hazel, and there's another match. I think he was about 4-1 down.
He was 6-4 that match with the bookmaker as well.
Yeah.
Martin, I've not seen. I only seen him play, and I only heard of him from these events this year. And I watched him play against Clinton. Very steady player. The one event I watched him play.
And Ian Duffy is now 5-4 up against Ben Forty, and I think he was 3-0 down in that game. So there's some toing and throwing going on in these early games. Christy Colefield's pulled a frame back against Rob Warren. He now trails 7-6. And Shaun Storry makes no mistakes in that clearance. And he now leads 6 frames to 3. So I realise that people are joining us as the morning goes on. Still fairly early on Friday, and we've got a long day of pool ahead of us today and a long weekend, which is going to culminate in the final sometime around about 8 PM on Sunday. So no better way to spend your weekend. I would suggest that you get the Ryder Cup on the TV and the pool on the laptop on the arm of the chair, and sit back and enjoy it.
We got any golf update?
Yeah, let's take a quick look at where we are. So we are, well, it's kind of a mixed bag. We were 2-0 up in the Rose Rahm game, and now we're 1 up. We're the Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy, we're 3 down. Dustin Johnson and Ricky Fowler. And the other 2 games we were 1 down in. Paul Casey, Justin Thomas, Francisco Molinari and Tiger Woods, and those 2 are now all square. So a bit of a fight back in 2 of the games. One of them looks pretty much dead in the water. So still very much in the balance. I think the USA were a lot of people's favourites for this one, weren't they?
Yeah, a lot of people saying if it was in America they'd be quite a bit more odds on, but
yeah, you could just get yourself even money, I noticed this morning. Just under even money.
I think Europe need the good start. I think the more America play on that course, the more they'll pick it up. I saw a stat when I was just watching it this morning that European players have played 300 or 200 odd, 200 holes on that course, and America had only played the 8, which they were 8 at the time.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I won't admit to being a massive golf fan. I probably watch about 1 or 2 events a year, probably keep in touch with the Masters, but it's like anything. I mean, my favourite event of the year in pool is the Moscone Cup,
yeah.
and my favourite event of the year in golf is the Ryder Cup. Anything where it's kind of that, you just get that massive rivalry. I mean, it's almost like a bit of a pantomime playing out in the Ryder Cup, because you don't get the same crowd reaction from any other event where the crowd are kind of booing the players and cheering the players, and you just don't get that with anything else, and it's all...
I like it in the golf. See, like, I've been put off a bit from the Moscone. I think it's gone a bit too OTT.
Yeah.
It was a bit cringy last year. but like, I went and watched the Moscone Cup 3 years ago now in Vegas. It was my one mate's 30th, one mate's 40th. We went out for 2 weeks, and it was a great time, and the event was great. Europe won quite easy that year. And I love watching the Ryder Cup. I was the same as you. I only watched a few of the majors and the Ryder Cup from the golf. Some atmosphere and the buzz when they nail a long putt and give it the fist pump. Hopefully we get to see a bit of Poulter later.
So Drew just
needs to
ran out of position slightly. He needs that to slow down. I think,
perfect.
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. He can just screw past the black now for this yellow bottom corner. He couldn't have placed that by hand any better. Really a great shot. Come off 2 cushions and find that exact spot on the table.
You see his cue action's got a lovely long pause in his cue action. Gets through the ball very nice.
Very nice from Drew Hughes. He pulls a frame back and it's 6 frames to 4.
Come back. Barada has got 2 against Penwell, so it's 9-2 now, not 9-0. Never say never.
I can tell you that the main arena stream game for the second session, which is the 12:30 session, is Carl Boys versus Mark Fleming. And I think that's probably the first time we've seen Carl on the main arena table. He may have been on there.
I think the first event he played.
Was he on there in the first event?
A couple of matches, I think.
Did he? Paul's got a much better memory than me. He reminds me that he played Mark Farnsworth.
Carl is like, I hadn't seen Carl play much English 8-ball, and it was last year's World Championship and World Masters World Duels he played. He got to the last 32 of the World Championship singles, lost to Harrison on the stream table. I think you covered that on Beard, and then he lost in the semi-finals to Kendall in the Masters. So he's well capable at this game. I know he's not had the results in the first few events here, but he is capable of running deep, and maybe this will be his weekend.
And table 11 is going to be Stevie Dempsey against Mike King. That's another great game.
I think Dempsey wasn't at the last event, but the event before, he had quite a few good results. I remember Jed kept pricing him up underdog in every match, and Stevie kept pulling the results out.
The other 2 stream games are David McQuillan against Brian Halcrow, and Craig Waddingham against a player I'm not familiar with, Duncan Pisani. I know there's a Ryan Pisani in the field. He's a Maltese player, but
I think it's his brother. I don't think it's his dad. I think it's his brother.
Funny because Duncan's got an English, got the George Cross against him, and I know that Ryan plays under the Maltese flag.
He does play for Malta. He does play for Malta.
Oh right.
Duncan does. Plays for Maltese 18 men's. Very good player. Very steady player. So I don't know why he's got the English flag there, but I do know he represents Malta.
Yeah, Ryan playing in the same session, actually. He's playing Clint Jansen, and he is playing under the Maltese flag.
So I'm guessing Duncan's had Scott Muscat's spot in this event.
Yeah, quite possibly.
See, last event, you're going to have all the top lads to be here. No events off for the last one.
Yeah.
And it looks like we won't be seeing the real number one at the last event if he's not coming to this one.
No,
He's already missed an event.
Bit of a shame, really. I know that his partner's, one of the partner's parents has been taken ill. I think partner's mother or something has been taken ill. So we wish them all well. Hopefully, not too many problems over there in Ireland. Again, it's another really well-controlled clearance from Drew.
He's got the pace of the table.
Yeah, he really has.
We're back to within one by the looks.
Arf and Dad has now beaten Cole Bedford, so Cole goes into the losers section. Arfan strode through that one, 11 frames to 2, no dramas.
So I played Cole at the last event and I beat him first round. He then won, I think he won 3 or 4 games in the losers. He battled on a bit, so I'm sure he'd be open to do that again.
No, Jake Newlove is now
9-5.
9-5 up, and I'm pretty sure that Jake was 5-2.
He was great price.
It was certainly 5-2 with one of the bookies. I know he was
think
9-4, and he went out to 5-2, and I thought that was an incredible price for him.
He's in some form. Like he's been to a final of a few of those Leicester or Hearts tours.
Yeah,
he's beat Cousins. He's beat.
I mean, he's hard.
Steve Petty.
He's hard to back when he's playing Jack Wigan, but 5-2 is a big price for someone of his talent. It made it value.
I think Petty is probably the only one I can think who, I might be wrong, I might be missing some. Steve Petty and Jason Twist are probably the only ones that are missing from these fields. You probably.
Yeah, before today I would have said Ben Flack as well, but we've managed to managed to get Ben into this one now. We back Yannick Beaufils, and Yannick couldn't make this event, so we asked Ben if he could come along, and gladly he said yes. So it's great to see him in action. He'll be in action later today.
This might be your chance to cash in.
We've been so close on Yannick as well.
We know how good Ben is.
Yeah.
He won the Europeans in Malta in February, beating Carl Sutton in the final. And Carl was in some form that week as well, and Ben come through and won it.
We didn't think we'd be able to get him, but we dragged him in, kicking and screaming.
I think Ben's back living in Bristol. I think I saw that he's working for Home Leisure.
Yeah,
so
I think
maybe
you're right,
he's playing a bit more now. I know he stopped playing because he didn't qualify for the England World Rules team for the first time in years. But I think that was due to the lack of practice, and he was a bit ill that weekend. But Ben's well kept. I saw him in the draw. I thought, that's a player to look out for. He's very, especially if he was a non-elite in the Calcutta. I'm not sure what he went for.
No, he was. I think he was elite.
Okay.
So you've got a all-Wales affair this afternoon. You and Oli Bell.
Yeah, should be fun.
You must have played Oli a few times before, I would think, haven't you?
I think I've only ever played him twice, and they are both at Chinese.
Oh, right.
Both at Bristol All-Stars. I beat him. We played first round of 2 tournaments there. I beat him the first time we played there, and he beat me the second.
Should be a good game, that one. I mean, you never quite know which Oli's gonna turn up. I mean, if he's firing on all cylinders, and then he'll probably beat you one-handed because he's ridiculous one-handed, absolutely ridiculous. But he's not had the best of series so far. I think it's safe to say, probably by his own admission. But I have seen players say that they'll take him on one-handed. He's an absolutely ridiculous player. I think he's made a 89 break on a snooker table one-handed.
I remember first time I went to the Welsh Festival Pool Welsh Championships was at Treco Bay Port of Call, and he was there on one of the top tables. There was no games on the top tables, and they were there practicing. He was there doing trick shots, and he was poking in long long balls having the white in the jaws, like a ball on the black on the blue spot of a pool on the pool table, the centre spot, and he was pounding them in one-handed, getting 8 or 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Then he was showing swerve shots. He is amazing when he gets going.
I think I might be mistaken. There's a few people, might be some people in the chat who could confirm, but I'm pretty sure he's broken dished about 7 frames in a row, one-handed. I mean, it's crazy. I posted some videos from a few years ago when he was playing one of the events at Western Supermare at All Stars, when there was a bit of a crowd around watching. He's a bit of a showman, so he loves having a crowd around. And it was, I think it was the year that he got to the singles final, and he played every frame normally apart from the black, and he potted every black one-handed. His opponent was none too happy that year.
Oli's won some big tournaments over the years. He's
2006 European champion.
He beat them all in that event, mind.
Yeah.
I think his easiest match was the final against a very good player, Ryan John from Wales as well. I think he beat Twist in that event.
Yeah.
He beat Potts. He had a very good record against Potts. That's why their money match come about.
And I think
I call him the best salesman in the world.
Yeah.
Because he's managed to get thousands on thousands of backing against Potts, Twist, and McCarthy.
And McCarthy, yeah. Wow, that's some miss from Shaun. But I think I'm right in saying, because obviously the big thing about the grand final is the prize money is going to be the biggest pot. It's going to be £51,000, and the significance of that is the previous biggest was £50,000, which was the one-frame shootout from
which Oli was in the final.
And I was just about to say, Oli was. I know he got to the semi-final. He got to the final, did he?
He lost. He missed the ball. I remember him telling me it. I remember because my last year in the 23s, he was in the men's Welsh team. And he was telling me at like breakfast or dinner at the Strand in Blackpool, and he was telling me about it and about how he missed this ball down the rail in the last frame to win it. It was quite a funny story because it was about, I don't know how many there would say there was 30 of them playing on TV, playing down to a winner, and about 10 of them were in a syndicate, the top 10.
Yeah.
And this guy who won it wasn't in the syndicate.
Oh wow!
So he cashed in he got the old 50k.
Yeah.
But everyone in the syndicate's cheering Oli on the last one, hoping for 5k.
Yeah, and of course
5k each, and then he's going to miss this ball down the ground. The guys took a steady finish out, but I believe he was I remember who does on cue for news. I forgot his name now. Down your way.
Oh, Mike Day.
Mike Day did an article. I remember doing an article about that event, and the guy who won it was just a County B standard player.
Yeah.
But that day he just took everything out simple and made no mistakes.
For those who don't realise what we're talking about, it was basically a one-frame challenge, and I think it was £5 to enter. And
in your pub, wasn't it?
You started in your pub, and whoever wanted to play, and you literally just played one frame, and it was up and down the country. Thousands of people entered it, and it ended up with a televised final. And that's what it was. It was just one frame all the way through. Incredible.
I wasn't playing at the time. I was too young, but I think they were in a cage, and they weren't allowed to talk to each other, do no deals. But a few of them managed to do a deal.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that it's on YouTube somewhere, because I've definitely watched it.
I hope, if it is, I'm going to watch it back, because I never knew it was on YouTube. But
well, I've definitely watched it, so I have to imagine that it was on YouTube.
Very nice control of that as well by Drew. But yeah, I just remember getting told they were in a cage and they weren't allowed to do no deals. And it's just as black to level it up. 6 apiece. Yeah, it's quite a shame really that we're not going to see the grand final, the winner actually getting the 51k, I think. I think there'll be some sort of deal there with how big the split is. I think the only way there won't be a deal is if some numpty like me gets through and I've got Mick in the final and Mick's thinking I've got easy pickings here. It's a big gamble. 51 and to the winner, 3k runner-up.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
I don't think there'll be some sort of deal either way. Whoever's in the final.
Yeah, maybe even from the semi-finals. Who knows? It just depends who's there. It's almost like I mean, I've mentioned before that I come from a bit of a poker background, and it's one of them. It's famously widely done that you do a deal when you get to the final table. I mean, I've done them live, I've done them online. I mean, on PokerStars, you've even got a button that you press to say, I want to do a deal. And if there's 3 players left and they all press the button, then they pause the match. But it's one of those, you kind of look at the prize pool and you say, right, there's 10 grand, in a poker tournament, there's 10 grand up top. And I'm chip leader, but I don't really fancy my chances because these players are pretty good. And it's going to be the same in this. They're going to look around the field, and if it's Mick looking around and thinking, well, I fancy him, and I fancy him, then he might not want to do a deal. But I would imagine that most players probably would.
If you've got 8 top lads in the last 8, you could see some sort of deal at the last 8.
Yeah.
It just depends then if there's one player in the last 8 who the rest think is a lot weaker. You might not get a deal done, but
there's only one person needs to say no. And
one
then
person could spoil it, because if it gets to the stage where the 7 do a deal and just not count the 1, and he gets through again, then that's when it gets awkward. When you're in a final and the one guy is not going to earn it, he's going to have to then do another deal, etc. So I hope it don't get messy like that. I hope we just.
I think it needs to be. I mean, the organisers probably won't have much of a say in it, but in poker, it's it's widely known. Either everyone agrees. If there's one person who says no, then it's no deal, and you carry on. So I think that's probably the way it needs to be. That everyone needs to agree. Otherwise, it just gets really complicated. Anyway, it remains to be seen.
I would love to get through to the final and say no to a deal.
Yeah. Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me at all if.
Or get through to a quarters or something and say no.
Just to put the spanner in the works.
Yeah.
I was going to say it wouldn't surprise me at all if Mick and Phil did a deal in the last event with the prize difference. It was 13.
They did do it. They split it down half.
They
did it at the World Championship final as well.
Who can blame them? Absolutely right to. If they know that they can both walk away with a kind of 7 grand payday each, it's a fantastic weekend, isn't it? And there's not a fag paper between the 2 players, so in a final in a race to 11, there's very little between them.
It's like the funniest story I've ever heard is they used to have the old gangster tours. That's before my time, but this is me getting told stories. Got told it from Simon Ward himself. He played Chris Mellon in the final. Chris has come up to him and asked for a deal. In the final, Wardy went, "No, I'm not. I don't really do deals, but we can play for it all if you want. The winner and runner-up prize money." Chris has gone mental, saying he's disrespectful, or whatever, and Wardy's ended up beating him, and they ended up just playing for the normal prize money. But funny stories like that. Wardy never does a deal like that World Championship final at the IPA this year. When he played Ben, they're both probably best mates.
Yeah.
And they go to a deciding frame. Ben said he looked over. He's just gone all.
Oh, that's curtains there for Shaun.
Ben said he looked over at Wardy when it went to the deciding frame. Like, do you want to do something? Wardy was like, no, I don't do deals.
So nothing between these 2 players, Shaun Storry and Drew Hughes, 6 frames each. It's been a good game to watch so far. So other matches, I mean, Jake Newlove now on the hill against Jack Whelan. He's 10 frames to 6 ahead. Jamie Graham is 8-3 up against Lee Boggy. Christy Colefield 9-8 against Rob Warren. That one really to-ing and fro-ing. Rob Warren, the last time we saw, was.
He went back in the head after being behind.
I think it was 8-6 up. Paul Riley's still just edging Carl Morris. Gritty game there in 6 frames to 5. Joe Prince is 9-6 up against Richard King.
I think the standout one for me there is the Dunster game, because, as I said earlier, Toomey's well capable on his day, and got a construct of what's the word? Contrast of spoils.
Contrast, yeah. Was he something 7-1 behind or something? Was it? I can't remember what the score was now, but he was a long way behind, wasn't he? 6.
I think it was 6-3 or 7-3.
Was it 6? Oh right, okay, it wasn't quite that much.
He's gone 8-6 now, but not that I wanted to bring it up, but have they changed the break rule in this event?
Yeah, I believe so, yes. 4-point rule.
Shaun just looking to take advantage. A couple of them making characteristic mistakes there, but he's got the chance.
Cold coffee. Oh, nothing worse.
See, I was joking this morning because Kapow woke me up to a coffee, and I said I can only drink black coffee, mate. He's looking at me laughing. I've never drank tea or coffee. I only drink black coffee because it's scientific. Like, part of my diet was I was on the black coffee helped kickstart metabolism, and I was doing fasting, so I couldn't have milk or sugar or nothing with the coffee because otherwise it'd break my fast. So I'm now having a black coffee this morning.
Was that part of your diet then? Because I mean, you've dropped a fair bit of weight, haven't you?
I lost 4 stone.
Was it?
I put about a stone back on just partying the last 2 months. But I can lose that back now.
I lost almost 2 stone, but that was just from being in hospital.
Oh.
That was.
That's like my dad. My dad lost 6 stone in hospital, and now he's maintained the weight loss.
Yeah, it's good though. I mean, don't get me wrong. If one good thing came out of being ill, it was the fact that I dropped the necessary bit of weight that I probably could do with, a few more pounds. But
not looking too bad, mate. You're all right.
It's nice to it was nice to get on the scales and think, oh, there was something good came of that after all.
Oh, joking around actually. A mate of yours, Deb Caldwell.
Yeah.
She's moved down my way. I've been going to a Tuesday night tournament with her. Going to this Tuesday night tournament down in Frames in Pontyclean with her. But she started playing the singles league at my club that I run, and she was in the club last night practicing with one of my mates, John. And joking around, she's on a diet, and she was talking about. I said, joking around, I said, we'll have a bet who can lose the most weight. So it looks like we're having a bet who can lose the most weight in the next 2 months.
Oh, excellent!
We're gonna have £100 on it. So I best start. Gonna have to weigh in next week, and then from there, actually stick to my diet again.
Yeah. Just take her at McDonald's in. She's a sucker for a McDonald's. She won't be able to stop herself.
She always talks about Domino's. But she's improving, and she's looking forward to. We've got home internationals in Stockport.
Yes,
at the end of October.
playing for Scotland, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's one of the Scottish internationals. Let's be fair, she needed to.
She can pot a good ball. It's just the odd shot. But my singles,
she'll take it the right way.
My singles league's handicapped, and so she's off 6, first to 15s. The better players, the best players, off 0. She played a player off 4 on Monday night, and I think it was 15-11. So it was close at one point. She just said, "Oh, I missed a couple of chances," and
very much a confidence player.
Yeah.
So, Drew with what should be a fairly simple clearance. The only part he really needs to navigate is getting back at the table for the black, which will be really easy work now.
He's just got enough angle to stun up.
Stun straight through the centre of the table.
Very
and
nice.
That's going to be good enough. And still nothing between these two players. And Drew makes it 7 frames. Oh, who's going to blink first?
Thought that white was going a bit loose then, but it was all right. But yeah, what I say to Deb is, like, with women's pool, it's a different game, and I watch a lot of pool especially, and you got to play a bit more tactical with in the women's game. She enjoys going from.
Yeah.
She pots a good ball, and sometimes you have to rein back in.
Paul Riley, Carl Morris is the slowest game at the moment. They're just 12 frames they've played, and they are 6 frames each. Jake Dillon Newlove's still on the hill. Jack Whelan's battling back. It's 10 frames to 7. Just looking across now, and Jack is at the table in that 18th frame, so you can catch that action. It's on table 11. It's our other stream table, which I believe there's also a commentary for that as well. I'm not sure who's across there commentating for you, but
Shaun will be looking for a nice break here. I remember the first frame, he parked the white nice in the centre of the table. They've gone a bit loose recently, but be open.
he's lost it a couple of times, hasn't he? So
Not too bad. The white wasn't, it was heading towards, but not close enough to the corner for any damage. And
reds look delightful.
that was more like a, that's how Harrison hits him from that spot at the table.
Yeah. They've split beautifully here. I think he's even got a nice angle on the one furthest away, nearest the top rail, just to come back down between that little triangle of reds at the middle of the table. He'll be looking to take that one at the top of the table and then just try and maneuver his way down the table. So he's just looking for a slightly better angle off the one in the middle. But it's going to be the same thing. He's going to be looking at removing these 3 balls at the top of the table now, and then just gradually working his way back down table. He's got a nice angle here just to screw in behind the other, well, I guess you'd call it the other slightly difficult red, but it's plain sailing now.
You saw then Chris Day in the background cheering on his fellow teammate and Shaun. Chris, very steady player. Part of the England Rule Duels team. He sat next to George. Dunster 8-7 to me. Very close game there.
George being our part of the Beer Productions team. He's the tech man behind the scenes and also the cameraman. Beer Productions wouldn't be the same without him.
I was going to try and wind Paul up there and say George is the main man, but...
Well, I think Paul would agree with that. This pretty much all happens because of George. He's incredible. Now you see there's George's handy camera work, zooming in on this shot.
It's just these 2 balls to go back in the lead. Shaun's like me, he's a bit of a steadier of the game, and he works a lot on like, the mental side of the game. He's telling me in China certain stuff he does to prepare himself mentally, and he's a bit of a tamper. He's gone through quite a few cues recently, but he's finally settled on this 2-piece maple. Actually, it looks like he might have swapped again, because he was carrying an American pool case around with a 2-piece in the last event, and now he's got a 3/4 case there, so maybe he's on a 3/4 again. So very much a tamperer, like the darters, like Peter Wright. Remember the one match Peter Wright that had 11 darts up on stage with him. I've swapped cues recently and I've found the benefits playing with a slightly bigger tip.
Yeah.
I'm actually playing with Jason Owen. Jason Owen sponsored one of these events this year. I think he sponsored the first one, if I'm right.
He did, yeah.
Fair play, Jason, getting involved and supporting the industry. If all the big names in the industry got behind these events, we'd have a lot bigger tour and probably a big pro tour.
Absolutely, yeah. I echo those sentiments. You can see our sponsors' logos around the table.
Anyone who sponsors into the sport, I got a lot of respect for. I think it only benefits them in the future. The game's bigger, the more business they got.
Dave Fernandez comfortably through against Daz Lightfoot, 11 frames to 3. Adam Penwell comfortably through against Abdelkarim Barada. So the trip from across from Morocco has been a short one. He's now across in the loser's side.
Kapai won't be able to sleep tonight now. You're buzzing so much.
Yeah.
I won't get no sleep tonight. I won't.
Liam Dunster 8 frames each with with Richard Toomey. Toby Bolt 8-5 up against Neil Wren, and Jake Dylan Newlove still on the hill.
He's at the table.
He is at the table. He's walking away from the table, so it's still not over yet. Jamie Graham 8-4 up against Lee Boggy. Christy Colefield and Rob Warren tied together on the hill, 10 frames each.
He's left himself nice in the skill shot, which is his only hard ball. Fancy him for this.
Carl Morris and Paul Riley still locked together in that 13th frame. It's still 6 each. Joe Prince through. Shane Thompson through. Eddie Barker through against Liam Pedley. That was a forfeited game. Ben Tanner's beaten Martin Hazel. That's a really good win for Ben.
I remember Lee Grout saying this morning that Liam Pedley's message wasn't very well. So I hope he's feeling better. Oh, he's not on it. He's got unlucky there, but also when you're going into balls, you can't guarantee.
Just looking forward at the 12:30 session. Some of the other interesting games. Darren McVicker's playing Ben Lewis. We already mentioned Mike King against Stevie Dempsey. Seb Webb's playing Jeremy Hooper. That's a real contrast in styles there. Jeremy, a real battler, a grinder, and Seb Webb, very much a flair player. Ronan McCarthy's playing Ryan Fleming. Ben Flack in action. He's playing Andrew McKee. I know Andrew's one of the IPA players. I think he comes from the northeast. Another player from the northeast, Brian Halcrow, is going to be in against the Irish David McQuillan. Matt Brearley, the robot, he'll be playing Rich Wharton. That's another good matchup. Leo Boomer playing Carlo Donahue. Craig Lakin playing James Taylor. Harjeet Singh. John Chapman.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So after he played that nice shot, when he landed close to the yellow, after developing the black, he played a very nice shot and come around 3 rails, but I think he's just misjudged it. I think he was playing the pinch the bag to come up.
Interesting to see Shaun now trying to work out what to do with his free shot. He was just looking for a second at breaking the cluster out, but if he, wow, he's looking again. I think he can just play this one down the rail and leave himself on the bottom one of this cluster.
I don't think he needs to do too much.
No. And that's fine. I mean, he's got options now. I mean, I think we'll probably see him take the bottom one of the 3 in that cluster. He may take the one over the left corner first. It's just it doesn't need to run into it, does he? Because if he takes the bottom one of the cluster into the right corner, it opens up the other 2.
I'm not sure if he can. He should be able to just check this in, but then also it's quite slidey. He might does want to leave himself. Awkward. Thing is, you could go into him. It's not a big deal.
No, I mean, they're almost always going to split and leave you on one, and if you're not on one, you've got the one to the top corner. So, in fact, he's going to go top corner first. Just probably get himself a slightly better angle on.
Yeah, I think he was a bit. He had too much of an angle the last shot.
Yeah.
Especially checking it in. If it's slid and you didn't leave yourself a shot, you'd be kicking yourself. He should be alright, top side or bottom side of this. Don't think you can do much wrong, and that's Jack walking away from the table, so it looks like Jake is. Yeah. Jake's won 11-7 there.
Yeah, the referee's in there cleaning the table, so Jack. Oh wow, he's underhit that by. Wow, you can see. I mean, a good 8-10 inches. He had quite a big margin for error. I mean, he could have gone. I mean, he's still got a shot if he's on the halfway line.
So he's playing the snooker. He might have left that. Oh, the red's coming. No, it's total. He might be able to come one rail here. Play this a bit right hand side. Put the black over the top left hand bag. Try and get the white at the top right hand and force Shaun into having to pull a shot off.
Yeah, if you play this with just dig down into the ball slightly and just try and hit just before the middle bag.
Just kick it with a bit of the right hand side.
And you've got half a chance of potting it as well.
Half a chance of potting also then half a
See
chance of, he's
Adam
coming.
Penwell come across and say hello, so he's obviously won his game. Well, that's some misjudgment there by.
I think coming the side rail was the shot, especially they slide a bit on the
Yeah.
side. I think he had a natural, then the white was natural, and the drift across to the right hand side of the table. Hopefully would have preferred to get the top rail, but
Richard Toomey now 9 frames to 8 against Liam Dunster.
the lads were laughing at me in the club. I was saying to him, I said I was going to run deep in the winner's side if I didn't run into him the last event, because he just didn't miss a ball against me. I watched him play a few rounds after, and he did the same. He lost in the last 16 in the end.
Christy Coalfield has just beaten Rob Warne. He won that Hill game. So it's Rob Warne across in the losers. And it's such a long way back if you lose in this first round. It's it's just a grind for the next 2 days.
The first event of these I played last year, I lost to Jez Graham first round.
No shame there.
No shame. He played well and I missed a couple of chances. And this is when it was 96-man field.
Yeah.
I won 6 or 7 matches in the losers, including beating players like Lakin, Michael Ope, Josh Kane, Daniel Davey. And I ended up losing to Dempsey and to qualify for the last 8. It was a grand match because it was getting through to the quarters for a grand, and I lost 8-6.
I think he probably left this just to try and stun across and play the black in the middle, but if he's left the angle, he could just force it up. And I just wondered if he was going to drop it in and take his medicine and leave a straight black into the top corner.
He looked a bit straight from the camera angle, but then looking at the table, he had that angle. But yeah, Toomey well capable. I think he got through to like the quarters of the last 16 in the IPA Worlds this year as well. Yeah. So Shaun, 9-7 lead, and he's got the break, but looking to move on to the L.
Ben 40 is in a game there against Ian Duffy, 8 frames each.
He had a tight one first round last time. He lost 11-10 to Pisani, Ryan Pisani. Will he be on another decider here? Yeah, I think thinking the players not here. Michael Ope's another one. He's not, you wouldn't say he's one of the like greats who have come back, but up-and-coming young player. He's been to a few world semis, won the under-23 worlds, won a lot of majors. He's a very good player. I don't think he's playing much anymore. I think the more this series goes on and progresses next year, I think we might have everyone on it. And
another huge break.
Safe, but I don't think anything's going.
Nothing's gone, but he timed that really well. Just open them up, but no luck. If you haven't done so previously, please, over this weekend, if you could just remember to like and share the streams we put your way. I mean, you can. I think you can paste the link across into Facebook. And also, if you haven't done so, please do subscribe to our page, and then you will receive notifications when we go live throughout the weekend.
Guessing you're over the 2 platforms at the moment. You're just over YouTube?
We're just YouTube, yeah.
Just YouTube. just got to mind his work here. Just looking to come up through the gap as you saw where he's pointing. Just want to kiss the yellow.
Right, just looking back on the chat, and Harriet's reminded us who the winner was of that one-frame shootout. Frank Sargent. That's good knowledge. Plays in Kent. Yeah, good knowledge. Now you've said it, I remember the name. Yeah, I should have remembered it. I know we mentioned it in one of the previous events.
Disappointed, being a pool geek, that I didn't remember that name. I'll mark that down in my black book. So, Mandeep walked past me just a minute ago. I just laughing at him, and he just pointed and said he reckons he only had 2 chances against Farnsworth. So he won't be too disarmed because he's got Farnsworth in the Calcutta. That's all he could have done, and he's left himself nice on this. Just done a cross into the yellow to leave the red to the top left-hand bag. Jamie Graham on Thiel. Just alright. A bit more angle than he would like, but he's just alright. I think he can just soft screw this in.
Yeah, this is going to be a slightly more awkward black.
Straight down on it.
Yeah, he's happy and nice confidently played.
See, I think that's my problem. I leave myself awkward on the black like that, and I'll take a minute just to worrying about it. He just gets down and strokes it in. So we're back within 1, and he's breaking. He's got the chance to level it up.
I can see this one going hill. Just seems to have it written on.
Did you have a good time in Real?
Yeah, for sure.
I've only been there once. Played in it was my first ever Welsh event for Wales. It was under 18s Nations Cup Blackpool, and we played in the games room. I'm not sure if they had tables in the games room there. Not the main. Did they have tables in the games room and the main room?
Yes, yeah, they had 30 tables, so they had 18 in one of the main halls, and then they had a side room with 12 tables in. Yeah. No, I mean it's one of the first times I've worked with the EBPF, and I got to say it was great. I mean, really well run, great organised event. It was a good atmosphere all weekend, and a pleasure to work with those guys. I think we enjoyed it. We had a caravan to ourselves, and it was decent accommodation. And
who won the singles in the end?
Clint beat Jake.
Okay. I saw Clint's game against Seb. Or bits of it, sorry. That's the only game I saw because we've been quite busy. We've done a lot of work at the club the last 10 days, doing it out. So I've been busy with that, and I haven't had my phone in my hand like normal. But it looked like it was a good event. It looked like a nice setup.
Yeah.
And your stream's quality as normal. It's got 9-9 in the Dunster-Toomey game.
Yeah, there's a few close ones now, isn't there? There's Ian Duffy, Ben 48 each. Carl Morris has now taken the lead, having been 6-5 behind. He's won two in a row. He's 7-6 up.
So Drew's dry breaks give Shaun a chance to get onto the L.
way this one's going, it doesn't look like there's going to be a massive break in action between the first and second sessions. So pool's going to be coming thick and fast today.
Sure, sat at your office on a Friday afternoon at work, trying not to do any work. Well, me was saying at work, probably not trying to do any work. Then
I know people.
Plenty of action here.
Yeah, people watch from any vantage point. I was talking to my estate agent the other day, and he came round for a visit, and he was saying he's a big pool fan, and he said he's got 2 screens at work, and on the left-hand screen he's working on, the right-hand screen he's got the pool on, and if a client comes in, he just quickly mutes it, and it just shows that just people watch it from pretty much any vantage point.
Yeah, that's actually all right. I thought he was trying to screw through the gap there, but yeah, people, they love it a lot. And I'm sure Rusty's on the building site. He might be asleep at the moment, but I'm sure he's on a building site watching this at some point this weekend.
Yeah. Should be able to hold here. Just needs to cue it well. Very nice.
That one.
Cued it really well. Left a nice angle here. You can just
I think he needs to screw on off the rail here.
Yeah.
I don't think he can just soft screw it.
Just a touch too much angle.
It's a nice little shot here, screwing on off the rail. He'll leave himself the angle to get it for the black.
It's one of those, isn't it? You've just got to commit to it and don't decelerate.
He got into that too nice,
Just
actually.
slightly the wrong angle.
You've been open and low on that, but he did cue it quite well and just come too high.
Can he just screw the side rail and just again take his medicine?
He'll just screw off the yellow and leave the black to the middle.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Slightly hamper cueing, but it's a simple enough shot. Half ball cut to middle. White's going to be safe because it's going to run straight into the yellow just above. Oh, I say it's going to be safe. He's okay.
He's alright. Yeah, I was talking to Man on the way up here last night, and we were talking about what the chances we got of making some sort of money back from this tour. Then you look at, I would like to see the stats at the end of the series and how many top players won't have cashed.
Yeah.
You've got people like, I just looked over, I saw Craig won them, and I just realised, oh, he's in the event, and I don't think he's cashed yet.
No.
There's so many top players who are not going to cash a penny, I don't think.
I know Andrew Sheldon had the stats. I think it was something, I'm sure he can confirm over the weekend, it's something like 36. That may have been before the last event. There's something like 36 different players cashed, or I can't remember if that was before or after the last event. But
it'd be quite interesting after the last event to see how many actually made cash more than 1,400.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it'd be more than 20, maybe. I don't think.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a thing to look at for next year and have it spread a bit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
I think the way he's talking is, especially the grand finals, I think it's all good having the 51. But it's that big attraction, that big prize money we're all going to be watching the last event. But it's actually nice to be a commentator on this match, the first event of the weekend. Normally I'm here from the first ball to the last ball watching, don't really get much in the commentary anymore. And these reds are lovely. This is back to how the game goes, because this could easily be 10. Now he's got board in hand here to go 10-9. He's got the break in the neck, this could easily be 10-all in the blink of the eye. I'm sure he won't take that long to finish these up.
The 12:30 games now being called to the table, so all those scores will be running through in a second.
It's quite funny. Ben Lewis played Darren Mavica the second event. Darren beat him 11-2. Stu taking no time here, taking these out. Looks like he'll just drop these in and leave the black to the middle. Just wants to leave himself off a bit, but it's not a problem. He can just stand on off the rail, or just stand out and just decide to drop it in for the black to the middle. We're back within one again, and Drew's got the break on the next to take it to a deciding frame. Got 8-all in the Neil Wren Toby Bolt game. Carl Morris now 8-6 up on Riley. Paul Riley after going behind. Ben 49-8 up on Ian Duffy. A few good games here. You've got Craig Brown, who had a few good runs in the IPA recently, taking on Simon Fitzsimmons, Seb Webb Hooper, Ryan Fleming, current Black Ball European champion against the always steady Ronan McCarthy. Ben Flack, his first event of the Supreme Series. As you heard Nick say earlier, they've sponsored Yannick into these events. Yannick couldn't make this event, so Ben subbed in, which is not a bad replacement at all. Taking on Andy Mackay. Dave McQuilling, heavily involved in the Irish team, was captain for years. He's playing Brian Alker, another old-timer. So Drew breaking here. He's got a ball, and it's not ideal. He wants to go reds here, but he hasn't got an opening. He hasn't got an easy opener. The yellows are not bad. It's just that one ball on the top right-hand side rail. Is he looking to cut this red back in? Oh, he's hit it feg. I think that might be it. Shaun with the chance to take the match. I think he'd be looking. Let's go back up the table now. If he can pot the one over the top right, he'd definitely be taking top right then, top left out the way. Now he's got this insurance, the one over the bottom right.
Some good games just starting up in that 12:30. Duncan Pisani, Craig Waddingham, Harjeet Singh against John Chapman, Leah Boomer playing Carl O'Donoghue, Brian Halcrow, Dave McQuillan, Ben Flack against Andrew McKee, Ryan Fleming versus Ronan McCarthy, Seb Webb, Jeremy Hooper, Mike King, Stevie Dempsey will be across on table 11.
Oh, he's not hit that the best. He might have to play the long plant here. Oh, you can see the one over the top, the bottom right actually.
Yeah, I think he can just get through to it, can he? Plan B.
You'd be unlucky here if you played this one over the bag, and if you tried to go into the yellow near the black spot, you'd be unlucky not to leave a shot, wouldn't you?
Cole Morris now 8-6 against Paul Riley. Neil Run and Toby Bolt tied up at 8 each. Liam Dunster, Richard Toomey tied up at 9 each still.
It's not too bad. Pop the red into the same bag. come up the 2 rails for the 2 reds at the top right hand bag. I think these go. Yeah, he can just get through to the 1. Doesn't really matter where he leaves himself. He's got a few natural shots on next. He could just leave himself. Yeah, that's nice. He can be looking to swing around 2 rails here.
Yeah.
To the right hand side of the black.
Anyway, just below the bulk line is fine.
He'd be looking to try and leave it to the middle, I think.
Oh yeah, so he's just come around.
He has overhit that, but he's still on the
It's
black.
fine.
A bit of margin for error there.
Yeah, I prefer that shot actually. There's a much wider margin of error.
So he's getting the white cleaned.
All kinds of gadgets and tricks in Rick's pocket there.
Good job he didn't pick the wrong white. See, I learnt this. Like, if you've got a ref there and you've got a shot like this, I always get the white cleaned.
Yeah.
Cost me big time in China.
It also just allows you a few seconds to compose yourself, don't you? I
Yeah.
mean, it's a big shot. It's a big black. Drew with a smile on his face in the background. He knows it's probably
Only probably
game
2 or
up for
3.
him.
Yeah, probably only 2 or 3 uncharacteristic errors he's made, but apart from that, a steady match.
And that's
the win.
a very nice black there. And that is the win in the box for Shaun Storry. So he goes through on the winner's side. Drew Hughes will have to take the long route back through the losers section. But that's our first game of the weekend. Lots and lots more pool coming up for you. The next game up on the mainstream will be Carl Boys against Mark Fleming. That should be great. I can see Carl is actually sat in the arena waiting for that game to get underway. That's due to start at 12:30. I would imagine it would be pretty much on time. We're going to reset things here. And we'll be back with you in about 15 to 20 minutes with that game between Mark Fleming and Carl Boys. We'll see you all shortly. So we're going to head across the interview room and have a few words with the winner, Shaun Storry.
with the winner now, Shaun. Congratulations, a tough match that one.
Yeah, I think the bookies had us both fairly even. They couldn't really call it, and I think that's the way the game panned out. Really, it was just sort of a little mistake here or there from both of us. A couple of 2-ons, but I think it was a lot of breaking dishes. Table was breaking lovely, playing lovely. So yeah, it was nip and tuck all the way really.
And the new cloth, how did you find that?
Beautiful. It plays really nice, really responsive. And it's a nice colour as well. I was saying, green looks so old. My friend Chris Day's just had a extension built on his house, and he's put the table, and you've been nice enough to give him one of these cloths. I don't know if I should say that up front because no one can get one.
I've loaned it to him.
I've
got to get it back for the series for the next event. But
it just looks like a piece of art for me now. Whereas with the green, obviously grey's really in with property and houses, so it just looks like an art piece in the middle of the room. So
I'd like. And Nick, your thoughts on the?
I mean, you seem to settle in so quickly. Playing on a new cloth. Did you have a chance to play on it yesterday?
Yes, we had I played with Chris yesterday on one of the outside tables, so we had a good long race.
Because you started perfectly, didn't you, with the break dish, and
yeah,
doesn't get much better than that.
No, I felt comfortable straight away. I work a lot on mindset and things like that, so I was pretty comfortable all the way through. Really,
Zach was saying beforehand that you do, or you just mentioned it yourself. You work a lot on mindset. What do you do? Is it kind of meditation thing, or how do you prepare?
I just listen to a lot of successful people, watch a lot on YouTube, performance coaching, that type of thing really, and just nothing specific, nothing one-to-one. I just sort of find what's out there and try and take what I like from it and put it onto the match table really. And
how does that manifest itself? It puts you in a positive mindset?
It just sort of treating it like it's a practice game really, like the whole way through the game. I know there wasn't a huge crowding because it's 10 in the morning, but obviously there's multiple cameras and it's probably be watched by quite a few people, so you could have that in your mind, but just sort of treating it like it's a practice table and getting on with it really, not letting anything faze you. And if you get the chances, great. If you don't, you shake the other guy's hand and say well played.
Yeah, and does it affect you? You're in the main arena. You've got the cameras pointing at you. Is that the first time you've been on the
first time in the arena? Yeah, 18th match. But in the series, it's been obviously I had a lucky one last year where I won when there wasn't quite so many of the top players in, but. And it's all the same setup, but with the arena it is just amazing. Being able to walk back to your seat, you really feel like it's something very different. Yeah, it's a nice setup, really nice.
And does that encourage you, or do the nerves? Do they kind of get to you?
Oh, I'd much rather play out there. I'd much rather do that. Yeah. I think it just settles me down more than anything. I think if you've not got anyone in the way of your shot, that type of thing, they're all things you have to deal with when your tables are quite close together. You sort of get distracted by other matches maybe, get something that I work on, but you can't help yourself looking around when you're not at the table, whereas there's sort of no distractions, just enjoy it, and no one knows where you get in your rhythm, and it's nice to have the shot clock as well, to be fair. So.
Yeah, and you've gone deep a couple of times.
Yeah, I think 16th and 13th twice, and then, so hoping to have a good way. It's so tough, it really is. So. Yeah. I know, I lost my first match in the second tournament, and like Phil Harrison got all the way through and won one, but I think I got to the losers qualifiers last match before the quarters when it was double elimination to the quarters rather than the last 16 like it is now.
But through on the winner's side, you can't have done any more than that. You've got to go into the next match with confidence. Do you know who you've got next?
I haven't looked that far in the draw at all, so I'll just turn up and see what happens really.
Brilliant.
Okay, well done. We'll see you later on in the tournament. Our next match is Fleming against Boys, and that'll be on at 12:30. So please tune in and also check the other streams. We have 3 other tables going on, and enjoy the pool. So we're back shortly.